Hi, welcome to Curvy Bird, a fashion, beauty, skincare for the plus size over 40 crowd. This is my beauty routine, so we're going to be going through my makeup routine. So at this point in the routine, my serums are done, my cleansing is done, my basic moisturizer is completed, and my skin is ready for my makeup routine. I start at this point with my primer moisturizer combo and I go forward from there until I'm done. This video is not sponsored by any products. This is all stuff that I've bought with my hard-earned money. These are products that work on my skin. They may not work on your skin. My skin has its own particular types of issues that not everybody has. So let's go through what those issues are. I have extremely hooded eyes, creepy, soft skin above and below my eyes. I have dark circles under my eyes. I don't have bags. I have steamer trunks under my eyes. They are a lot better than they used to be. I do a lot of eye patches and treatments to my under eye to try and fix that. We're making progress. We're not where I want to be yet. I have age spots on my forehead. I have a few brown spots on this side, my driver's side, and I have a couple of age spots on this side. I have a lot of redness to my nose, my chin, and my forehead area. I have a fairly deep number 1. I don't have an 11. I have a number 1. You can see it when I get angry with my kids. And even when I relax my face, it doesn't completely go away. I do have some furrowing in my forehead, way better than it used to be. I really have to express to get those. I used to have them at rest, but I've been using a microcurrent device and that has really been a game changer for me. I have nasolabial folds here, smile lines that are pretty deep. I get some other smile lines here. I don't mind those so much. I've earned those. And then I'm starting to get my family's famous jowls coming in where I've got a little bump here. And again, the microcurrent device I've been using has been helping with that. So my makeup's got a big job. It's got to cover up all this and make me look how I want to look. I am doing a video telling kind of my backstory, my why am I here video. I've only been using skincare products and makeup for about the last 6 months. Prior to that, this is what the public saw. I did not use moisturizer. I didn't use makeup. I didn't use anything. My concept of skincare was having a cleanser in my shower that was specific to my face, and that was all I did. So this has been a journey for me, a learning experience, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. I'm by no means an expert. I'm still learning through this process, but I want to share with you where I'm at and what I've found. I've spent a lot of money on products that I don't particularly like, and I've spent good money on products that I really do like. And if I can save someone the hassle of throwing good money after bad products or products that don't do what you want them to do on your skin, any help I can give, I want to. So without further ado, let's get started. The first item that I use on my face is my primer moisturizer. I use the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base primer and moisturizer in one. I've got 2 products in my hand because I'm still working through my small one. We went on a vacation in February and I purchased this small 0.5 ounce jar, and I've been using this. It has been about a month that I've been using this on the daily. I've got about 3.5 weeks in. I've got about 4 days left on my month, and I think I'm probably going to make it. So I would say this little jar, which is a 0.5 ounce, runs $20, will last about a month. Again, it's a moisturizer and a primer, so you get more bang for your buck, or your $20 for that matter. And I like what it does with my face. The larger jar, which I haven't started yet, is the 1.7 ounce jar. And if I repurchase something, well, to be honest with you, if I get to the bottom of something and use it up, it's a good product for me. I am flighty and jump from product to product, but when I find something that I really like, I stick with it. And this is one of those things. So this larger jar, $64 for 1.7 ounce. If a 0.5 lasts me 1 month, I'm anticipating that this 1.7 ounce jar will last me 3 months. So $64, 3 months, primer and moisturizer, that still runs about a month. So I think that that is a reasonable expense for me. If that is not a reasonable expense for you, there are plenty of alternatives. Primers, separate primers and moisturizers. I don't know if you're going to be able to find it for $10 a month, but that's my to put on your makeup. Try it. You are missing out. I tried it once and never went back to using my fingers. I always had makeup stuck under my fingernails and all over the place, and it was frustrating for me because I get my nails done. I have acrylics, and so there's a lot of real estate under those nails to get stuff stuck that it's harder to get it out. And so using these sponges is really wonderful. Not have to worry about having it all stuck under my nails. Okay, so it looks a little, and I rub the extra onto my eyelids just to even out. I've got some pretty purple eyelids too. So that is my first round with concealer. We're not done yet. We're just color correcting right now. So this helps to even out the color. It's not concealing anything. That's not my last concealing step. This is just color correction prior to putting on my, my foundation. So my foundation that I'm going to use is move some of my brushes around. The It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. I use this in the shade of light. I use light in the summer or in the winter months, and in the spring, at some point when I start getting some color to my skin, I'll switch over to the light medium. That just has a little bit more rosy tone to it and a little bit darker. It's not a huge difference in the tones. I put it on the back of my hand. I usually do about 2.5 squirts to the back of my hand. A damp blender sponge, and away we go. I put it on. Now, when you're putting on, again, use the blender sponge. It is a beautiful creation. We wouldn't have them if we weren't meant to use them, right? So, blender sponge, get your ears, get everything. Ears are part of your face, even if you don't want them to be. Get it all over. Now I have a very deep crease on the side of my nose here, like right in here next to my nostril. And if I'm not careful, it'll the makeup will skip over it and I won't have anything in there. When I'm done putting on my makeup, I'll have like a red spot next to my nose where there's no makeup. So I'm gonna blend this in with my blender sponge up to my hairline, but not in my hair. Fortunately, right now I have blonde highlights, so if I get it in my hair, it just kind of looks the same color as my highlights. So I guess that's a plus for me right now. So we're blending that in, and the time that it takes, you get to listen to me ramble on about pretty much nothing. It is hard to see what I'm doing in the camera screen because if I look at the mirror, I'm not looking at your lovely faces, which feels rude. All right, so get it down under your neck so you don't have a sharp edge or sharp line. Again, get the ears up into the hairline. You don't have to go too far into the hairline if you wear your hair down, but if you're gonna wear your hair up, you really have to kind of schmutz it over there into that hairline. And then I dab on my nose just to get a little extra on my nose. When I'm done with that, I take one of these two products. I usually take either this brush from e.l.f. It's the airbrush blender from e.l.f. Cosmetics, or from It Cosmetics, I have the concealer and complexion brush, Complexion Perfection brush. It's a double-ended one for concealer, for putting brushing off extra concealer, and one for the skin, for the foundation. I'm gonna use this one. It's a little bit bigger, and then I just go over it all just to make sure that I haven't missed any spots. I let it dry for just a few seconds before I do this, and then this just kind of blends in all those extra little spots that I might have missed and picks off any excess that doesn't need to be on there. And then again, I go down my neck a little bit with it. Now, if you notice, foundation, when it is full coverage, you come out of it looking a little bit like Mr. Data from Star Trek. You don't look very lively. You look a little bit pasty pale and like there's not a lot of life in you. So that's where we start using our bronzers, blushes, contouring to bring a little bit more life back into your face. This is where I wipe this off the back of my hand. I don't know how many times I have gotten my makeup on, gotten everything done, and gone to put my shirt on, or gone to put deodorant on, or put a necklace on, and I still have that gob of foundation on the back of my hand, and I schmutz it on my clothes or something. All right, so next step, concealer. I am using the Instant Age Rewind Eraser from Maybelline in number 130. And I'm going to just put a little bit under my eye. I want to, again, cover those steamer trunks, but I also want to brighten the area a little bit. And this brings a little bit of that yellow back into a little paler color. So this is just a little lighter than my skin tone. And it helps. So this is my concealer step. At this point, I have what I want under my eyes. I take my setting powder. This is the Milani Make It Last setting powder in translucent. And I take a dry blender sponge and I just pat it on there and powder it down a little bit. I will also do that with the end of my nose just to make sure that my primer and my concealer are gonna stay where they need to be. Okay, so that's that. The next step is bronzer. The bronzer that I use every day is the Chanel cream Healthy Glow bronzing cream. It is expensive. It's $50 for the container of cream, and it's a one ounce container. This is in the color light. It's lasted me a long time. I've been using this jar for 3 months, I think, and you really can hardly see a dip in the jar. There are dupes for this if you don't want to spend $50 on your bronzer, which who does? Here is a stack of dupes for it. ColourPop has a bronzing cream they call Soul Body. Okay, here it is in fair, light, medium, and medium dark. I think that's all the colors they have. So I run the full spectrum during the summertime. My skin tone will change. I really never get there, but you know, just in case I do, a girl can dream. I have the dark. I will blend them together to get the shade that I want. The light is pretty good, or the fair is pretty good for where I'm at right now. I anticipate that early spring or later spring, early summer, I'll be in the light, and hopefully by late summer, I should be in the medium light, or in the medium. But this is a nice alternative. These are $15, so they're not an expensive investment, and they last just as long as the Chanel does. I'll open up the Fair. The Fair is a nice color. That's a good bronzing color for me right now. And it depends if I have, if I'm wearing a full coverage foundation, or if I'm just doing a medium coverage foundation, then the bronzer shows up a little bit more, or I can use a little bit lighter one. I can use a little bit darker one if I'm wearing the full coverage foundation and need to cover it up a little, or need a little bit more to show what I'm doing. So I'm going to use the Chanel today. Couple trips around the jar with my brush, and then I just go a little bit around the perimeter of my face in circles. And then I go back around the other side once I grab some more from the top and down the middle. So think of it as I'm making a heart with my brush. I'm going in circles, but I'm going up, around, and down my chin, and then I can come back up here and go up and around and down my chin on the other side like a heart. And then I just run it again down my chin so that I have nice coverage. And again, this I'll go around a couple different times. There's a lot of product in my brush. It goes a long way. And then you get a little bit of color demarcation to your skin. Mattes out the foundation a little bit too, so it's not quite so shiny. So that is my Chanel bronzer that I use. I really do love that a lot. My blush that I use, I have two different blushes. I really use the Catrice more than anything. So I have the Catrice oil infused blush in the color Blooming Hibiscus is the color. So it's kind of a pinky color. An alternative to that, this is only available on Catrice's website, so it takes a little bit to get it. If you're more of an instant gratification kind of person like I am, you can stop on over to Target, and the Milani brand has a baked blush this is in Luminoso, and it is pretty much spot on, same color, same type of finish as the Catrice. I haven't opened my Milani yet, except to try it, so I am using the Catrice today. For blush, I start at my temple and I work my way forward, and I am heavy-handed with my blush. I flip a little bit up onto the cheek, but the bulk of my blush I want on my cheekbone so that it lifts my face up. Okay, this side is still kind of saggy, droopy. This side looks more lifted because my blush is more heavily up instead of down. So again, on this side, I put the blush on, and then I flick it to my cheek just a little bit to give myself a little bit of color in my cheek, but I don't want it heavy on my cheek. I want it heavy up on my cheekbone. After blush is when I do my contour. So for contouring, I use the Smashbox contour palette. If you look at the palette, oh, it's filthy, sorry. It gets a lot of use. So that's what it looks like after you use it for a while. So it has a little graphic on the mirror. So the mirror has, you can peel that off if you don't want it. I kind of like it as a reference. It tells you where to put the darker contour, the bronzer, and the highlighter that comes in the palette. So you get the trio in the palette, and it shows you where on your face to put it. So that's nice. So I take the contour brush. This is a contour brush from Shani. There's a contour brush that comes with the Smashbox kit. It's a little bit smaller. I like the bigger brush that I have from Shani. I go from my temple. You want to go from your temple to the corner of your lip, and as much or as little as you're looking for. So if you do just a little line, you'll get a little less of a narrowing. If you do a thicker line, you'll get a little more. So I'm putting a little bit of a thicker line just under my blush here, and then I'll blend it down just to give it a little blending in. Okay, and same with this side. I'll blend it down to give it a little blend in. The bronzer, the middle color I use on my nose, I have a little bit thicker, wider of a nose, and I really like to blend that down just a little bit to narrow it out. And then the highlighter, I go right down the tip of my nose to give my nose a little bit more of a narrow focus. So what you do in light colors is going to draw attention to it. What you do in darker colors is going to draw focus away or make it look smaller. So if I want my nose to look narrow, I do a narrow, lighter color down the middle and darker on the sides. That'll create shadow, make the nose look narrower and longer. So that's what I get. Then I put a little bit on my chinny chin chin, make my chinny chin chin look a little narrower. So now I've got my contour here on my cheeks, on my sides of my nose, and on my nose itself. Okay, contour palette from Smashbox, and I will link that below. Promise. For highlighting, I use the Too Faced Born This Way highlighting palette. It is a 3-pot highlighting palette. It has a large pot in the middle that's called Soft Focus, and that's kind of your everyday highlighter. It has one on the side called Glow. That's kind of a little bit more glam, and then one on the other side called Dazzle, and that is your wham bam glam. So this is what it looks like. Get you so you're not seeing any glare. So this is the palette. Believe it or not, I have been using this palette for a while. The pillows still look pretty doggone new. And not only have I been using this palette, my 14-year-old steals it from me all the time and has been using this palette. So I've got 2 people dipping into this highlight palette, and it doesn't even look like it's had any use. So this is a product worth spending your scratch on because it's going to go a long ways. I figured I'd hit pan in this palette pretty quickly, but I just used the center one, the Soft Focus, just to put a little bit of soft focus on my upper cheekbones. I also use a little bit, and I generally do that at the end, but I'll do it now because I have it out. I put a little bit just under the curve of my eyebrows, just to draw a little attention to the underside of my eyebrows. My brush is a highlighter brush from It Cosmetics. Their highlighter brush. Where are we at? I think we're good. Let's start on the eyes. So my eyebrows, I don't really do much with them at this point. Before I do my eyebrows, I do my Mario Badescu rose water spray. I just do a spritz onto my face, and that kind of, get a fan or someone to fan me, feed me grapes. Oh, that would be nice. All right, so I fan that a little bit, get it to blend in. And what that rose water kind of does is it kind of melts those layers together on your skin. Instead of your foundation and then your bronzer and then your blush and then your contour and then maybe your highlighter all being separate layers, it kind of melts them together so they stay in place and they don't brush off as quickly or as easily. Like I said, I go through my blush pretty quickly. I go heavy-handed with my blush because for some reason I'm on my hands in my face all day. So it's nice to be able to have the blush on a little bit thicker and have it stay. So that's where I'm at with that. Eyebrows. Let's go on to eyebrows. Right now, I had my eyebrows shaped and tinted at Ulta. So I had them turned into actual nice looking eyebrows from the Bert and Ernie Burt brows that I had going on before. So I don't have to do much with my eyebrows. What I really do right now, if I need to fill something in, I use the $1 Billion Brow BDB brow pen in taupe. It's a triangular point on this pen, and I'll use it to just fill in where my brows, where the tinting is fading a little bit. So it gives me a little bit more of a straight line at the edge and then just fills in just a little bit, but I don't have to do very much. And then I use the e.l.f. e.l.f. Beauty brow soap, just to make a little bit of a fanning effect with the brows and give them a little oomph and a little stay and give them a little fluff. And that's really all I do. And this also helps get any foundation that I got in my eyebrows back out. I don't want clumps of foundation in my eyebrows, and I find using that brow soap really takes care of that nicely. So on to my eyes. So my eye routine that I've been doing lately, I've been loving. I've been doing kind of a modified half cut look to my eyes, and I've been getting a ton of compliments on it, and it's been working really well for me. So I've been using the Tartelette Juicy palette from Tarte. The colors are absolutely gorgeous. The palette is filthy, so don't look at my mirror. But the colors are gorgeous. So it ranges from these like skin tony, taupey pinkies to some browns and even like a terracotta color to this pink, a lighter and darker, like dark mauvey pink, like a very, very pretty color. So that's what I'm going to use. So the first color I'm going to use is the color called Happiness. It's down here in the bottom, this one right here. And I'm going to take that color, this side of my brush, and I'm going to go the entire lower lid. Okay, so I'm just going to do the entire lower lid before the fold. And I want to get it nicely covered with that color. So before the fold. So the important thing with this style with your eyes is you want to look at where your pupil is, and you want to do the outer half versus the inner half. So the next color I'm going to use is this little bit, no, I'm going to use this one, this little bit darker brown. And I'm going to put that on the very outside. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. In the very edge, pull a little bit more, the very edge, and then I'm going to bring it, crease just a little bit. I only want to go about halfway creasing with this color. Okay, flipping my brush over using the bushier side of my brush, I am going to just, you see what I'm doing here? Halfway, like mid pupil. I'm not going any farther than the middle of my eye, and then back over. Okay, just on that one half. So grabbing that, going halfway, and back over. All right. Side's darker. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that over here just to even it out. All right. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. All right. We want to look at the eye. So then let's go back. I want to take that same color that I started with a finer brush, and I want to do from middle of my eye down in that inner to create a little bit of shadow there. You see how I did that? Just made a little bit of shadow. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side with this brush, little bit of shadow. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Then I'm gonna take the lighter of the pink, the dark pink colors, this one here, and I'm gonna go middle of the eye again. I'm gonna create kind of a triangle. So up here and over here. So creating kind of a triangle look to the outer corner of my eye. I want everything going up though. I don't want anything coming down. And do the same thing on the other side. Kind of that triangle going up with that pinky color. Okay. All right. So then to make this a little bit more dramatic, I'm using the Superhero No Tug Shadow Stick from It Cosmetics in the color, what color is this? Courageous Cream. And this looks a little bit like a concealer stick. And that's kind of what I'm going for. And then I take that and I draw in here. I don't want to draw onto my shadow line. I want to draw halfway on my eye with this shadow stick. Okay, and same thing on the other side. Halfway, this kind of a skin tone stick I've got going on here. I'm gonna take my blending eyeshadow brush back in that original first color, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna blend up and around a little bit to make this all kind of blend together. And I want to get in that eyeshadow of that this shadow that I made and blend it just so that's not a real stark line. Okay, same thing here. We're just going to blend it up so that it's not just a stark line. Okay, so that's my eye look. My eyes are so hooded, I lose a lot of what I have unless I'm talking and being expressive and raising my eyebrows, which I try to do a lot so you can see the hard work I put in. But if I just, it's gone. It's totally gone. But the curse of having hooded eyes. So the last thing I want to do, let me find my pointier brush, is I want to do, I don't use eyeliner. Mostly selfishly because I'm no good at putting eyeliner on. But I don't like the way it looks either. The heavy dark eyeliner I can't do. I think the 90s ruined me. So I take my darkest color that I used on my eyes, on my shadow, and I go half, just half. And blend it just a hair of my lash line. And again, it makes my eyes go whoop. It draws them up instead of pulling them down. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. And I'll blend that in a little bit if I need to, if I'm missing something. Okay, so that's what I do, and if I need to go just a little bit farther than halfway, I can. I tend not to. I tend to just blend it into my lower lashes on the half line. And then we are ready for mascara. The mascara that I use is the Lancome Idol in black. Let's see if I can do this without shoving the wand in my eye. I am very adept at shoving the mascara wand into my eye. Like a pro. Wait, I'm not done. This is usually the one I shove in the eye. I only put mascara on my upper lashes. I don't put any on my lower lashes. Again, I want to draw the attention up. I want to draw everything that's sagging and drooping up. So I try to smile more because that brings my cheeks up and my mouth up and everything else up. I try to be expressive with my brows, because that brings my baggy, saggy droop up. And I try to use my makeup on the up. So my blush goes up, my eyeshadow goes up, my mascara is only on my upper lashes, and everything is more up. So this is the finished product. I would put a gloss on my lips and be done for the day. So let me know in the comments what you think of my makeup routine, of my skincare routine. I will put that up shortly. Get that up for you. I will go through my backstory, get that put up for you. If you like what you see here, you want to see more content, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get notified of any new videos. I do a lot of clothing hauls. I do a lot, I'll be doing a lot more beauty, must-haves, top fives, favorite things. I'm going to be going through my empties for May shortly, and you'll be seeing what I went through and what I liked, what I repurchased and what I didn't, and a lot more. I'm putting up content every Monday as a rule, and sometimes tossing little treats in during the week for you as extra content. So in the meantime, I will see you soon, but in the meantime, stay positive and stay tuned.